We're Brothers Walker.
I have a name and you have a name too.
Okay, I'm Clinton Walker.
I'm Cody, and we're identical twins.
We're from right here in Southeast Missouri, a little town called Bernie.
And he's older in 3 minutes, doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It always does.
All right.
More
That's
experience.
us.
So what's the first song you got playing here?
What is the first song we got playing?
I think the first song we're gonna do. You want to do a love song, or do you want to do All In? Or
do I want to do a love song?
We can do an older song.
Sure, why not?
Let's do
what love
let's do
song?
Treehouse.
Treehouse is not a love song.
I know it's not. Let's do Treehouse.
Okay, let's do that one. We're gonna do a new song actually, and it is off of our album that's going to be out in November. And we wrote this song. Man, it's been
a couple years.
It's been a couple years now, and we have a bad habit of doing this where I'll come up with a song idea, and Clinton will say, "That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard."
Shoot it down.
And then we will write the song and be like, "This is a really great song," and he'll be super thrilled about the song that he wrote. And so that's kind of one
Needs
of the...
my touch.
What? Yeah,
Needs my touch.
Well, I'm just saying, this is what happens to several of our songs. And we don't really take ourselves super, super seriously in our music and our writing. We like to make fun of ourselves. And this song is kind of that we're identical twins, like I said, so we've known each other our whole lives, literally. And, well, there was 3 minutes where he didn't know me, and then we knew each other for our whole lives. But we grew
I
up...
don't know if it works that way.
It doesn't work that way? Okay, well, we grew up together. We experienced a lot of our childhood together, and we remember back when we used to be kids...
Yeah.
Before we were
Yesterday.
adults. Yeah, yesterday.
The thing I like about this song too is it's kind of one of those songs. If anybody has a best friend,
Right.
Like we were kind of each other's best friends, worst enemies. You know, how depends on the day. But we were around each other just constantly, and so this is that reminiscing song.
I always tell people this song
Fun
is
things you do.
partially true. So this is kind of the side-by-side of what we thought was going on in our heads versus reality. And it's called Treehouse. It goes like this. I remember fighting fires. It was back in 95. Sliding down that pole just to try and save a life. Well, we grabbed Mama's water hose and Daddy wore us out for lighting matches. It was just another week or two, and we were sniping foreign troops. Nothing on our minds but that old red, white, and blue. Then we shot Mary's window out and stashed those BB guns out in the pasture. And we spent every minute just trying to get ahead of all the trouble we were gonna get in, climbing in and out of that tree house. And whoa, whoa, we're on top of the world. Whoa, whoa, we're whatever we want to be. It's reality somehow, up in that tree house. The week I turned 14, she said, "Will you marry me?" And we tied the knot underneath that old oak tree. But her daddy saw us kissing there and said, "You can't see her from here on after." So we spent every minute just trying to get ahead of all the trouble we were gonna get in while we were hiding out up in that tree house. And whoa, whoa, we're on top of the world. One day I'm gonna have a son, and when my work day's done, we'll nail boards in that old tree truck.
then he's gonna fall and break his arm, just like his daddy did that one September. And I'll spend every minute just trying to get ahead of all the trouble that he's bound to get in, climbing in and out of that treehouse, and learning what life's all about up in that treehouse. Thank you. So yeah, that was Treehouse.
So I take it the broken arm actually.
And that part's true, yeah.
I think it was a sprain that he just egged on. But
I mean, most of it's actually true, but yeah, actually, I've never broken a bone, but I will remember when the trusses. I was actually playing baseball. I was like 12 years old, and I decided you know how kids. I say kids. I still like to do this. Like that stuff up there. I wonder if I can touch that. I wonder if I could jump up there and touch that. Pretty sure that I can't, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And I remember doing this 10 feet high and not realizing there was no floor under me, and just jumped right off of that thing and sprained my wrist.
is that why we were building it?
That was
Treehouse?
while we were building
Yeah.
the treehouse. Yes. So, yeah, good experience.
And so what is that's from the new.
That is
Yeah.
yes. That song
Can you tell us
is
a little bit about
brand new.
Yeah, this new record is called "Who I Am," and it's got a lot of songs on it from our heart. Our mission as an act is twofold. We like to share a little bit about our hearts. We're Christians. We love the Lord, and we're heavily involved in our churches, and we love to make people laugh and let people know that leading a certain type of life doesn't mean that you have to be boring and be a stick in the mud. And so just bringing joy to people's lives and making them laugh and making fun of ourselves is something that we
And
we
I
really
think we
enjoy
live
doing.
in a world that everybody's offended all the time, and everybody's looking for a way to like be hurt. And we just like to take things a lot lighter and not take ourselves so seriously, I guess you would say, and encourage other people to do the same thing. And it's okay to make fun of ourselves. So we're gonna make fun of us, not other people. There's a lot of material there too. So.
Yeah.
Did you just agree with that? I said there's a lot of material to make fun of ourselves, and you said yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. All right, we're good.
Get offended about everything,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, it's okay.
All right. Well, do we have another song?
Sure.
Let's see. I'll enter Miscommunication.
I feel like we should talk about this before, so let's do Miscommunications.
Okay, cool. I'm digging it. So this next song, I've been married almost 4 years now. My fourth anniversary is actually in September this month. So
one person's like, woo.
yeah. So you may relate. to
We
the
normally
song.
ask the question like, how many people are married? And then we're like, how many people are happily married? And then we're like, anybody know what the most important thing about marriage is? And it's apparently communication.
It
That's
is.
what we've heard.
It
That
is.
you just got to communicate.
Communication's important.
So we wrote this song called Miscommunications. This is about love. It goes like this. Ready?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Oh,
Do you know how it goes?
Yeah. Try that again.
That was pretty perfect to set the song up, actually. We go on after 4.
Okay.
Okay, 1,
You're
2.
not communicating very well.
I know.
That's good.
1,
All right.
2, 3, 4. Ooh, yeah. She thought I said I was an actor when I said I drive a tractor. She thought I said, do you want a date? When I said, girl, I'm headed out to the lake. And now instead of going fishing, I'm stuck here wishing I was anywhere else. What have I done to myself? This miscommunication hasn't gotten me too far. So I'm needing a vacation from this tired heart. And by now I ought to know how to turn around and walk. But I can't help but talk. Thought I said I had
call you honey. And when we got out to the house, it didn't take her long to figure out that instead of having riches, she's stuck here wishing she was anywhere else. What have I done to myself? And this miscommunication hasn't gotten me too far. So I'm needing a vacation from this tired heart. And by now I ought to know how to turn around and walk. But I can't help but talk. Here's what my brother did. It might have been my southern twang, but she thought I said a diamond ring. And before we knew it, we had said our vows. Now 20 years together, we have finally figured out that what we're always saying ain't what we're talking about. This miscommunication's all that's gotten us this far. And we're needing a vacation. Come on, let's jump in the car, oh, and head down to the lake and take a little walk and have a little talk. We'll have a little talk. So, I mean, some honest inspiration behind that song. We watched our parents growing up. You know,
Right.
So who do you guys share songwriting? How did these come out?
Man, that's an interesting question. I don't know.
We share credit for sure. I mean,
Really? Well,
Cody writes
I
most
don't like to
everything,
share
and I take credit for it.
Yeah.
No, we do. We collaborate on just about everything. Like you said,
If you'll notice, like, and we say this all the time, like we enjoy writing stuff we know, and I think just a little story about our songwriting. You know, we grew up in church, and we grew up, and we just started playing country music about 6 years ago now, and we grew up in Southeast Missouri, so like on the cotton farm and doing all of the things that you would do if you're from the country. And we grew up listening to country music, but we played in church, and we were writing these songs that about God that we don't understand, you know, and going, how do we describe this thing that is, you know, is such a huge part of our life, but it's hard to put into words and poetry to describe God. And then we started writing about our parents and all this goofy stuff that happens in our life, and
we kind of took a step back and looked at our lives and go, wow, there's a lot of content here.
right. So, and that's where kind of a lot of that came from, is we started just kind of making fun of ourselves, and we were like, this is actually, I think people will relate to this. So I would say that as far as the writing dynamic goes, my brother is actually he has a major in math and English. So
Graduated from Southeast Missouri.
Yeah, he's a school teacher, and I went to college for a semester, and so I've got some education. But no, I would say he's probably a little bit more of the writer, and I'm a little bit more of
The thinker. No?
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
I'm trying to throw you one. I don't know where you were going.
I think just kind of like we talked about with Treehouse. I have a lot of ideas that he thinks as a writer are horrible until I yell at him enough and say,
have to sit with it for a minute.
right. So, and then he's also writes the love songs because he's married, and I write different songs. We'll probably play one of the songs that I write in a minute. You'll kind of see the difference in dynamic. He wrote Miscommunications. Well, we wrote that one together, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We lose track of which ones each of us write, but so yeah.
There's the best answer. We really don't have a clue who's responsible for what lines.
That's true, because we argue later on the fact that one line I came up with like 2 years ago, that was the greatest line I ever wrote. And I'm like, man, are you seriously going to take credit for that line that I obviously wrote?
It's the twin thing. Yeah.
But I will say that one thing that we pride ourselves, like I said, we write stuff that we know, and we write stuff that we really relate to. And even when we sing cover songs or other people's songs, it's we enjoy singing songs that we stand behind, understand, and kind of know. I don't really believe in singing something that doesn't resonate with you personally. And it kind of puts us in a few of our songs in maybe a little bit of a only we can sing these songs because it's like a song about being brothers and growing up. There's a whole bunch of only children out there going, this song's not for me. But it's an experience I think a lot of people can relate to. So we enjoy doing it. So we write for ourselves and hope that other people like it. So we're gonna do that one next.
I think so. Do we have time for 2 more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we should do this song.
Yeah, it's cool.
This song's off our first album.
Our
and-
self-titled first album.
Yes.
It's called
Brothers
Brothers Walker.
It's called Rich Man, and
You
You wanna talk about it?
I'll set this.
Go ahead.
I'll set this one up, and then you can.
I'll play some pretty background music.
Yeah,
for
do
you.
that. Yeah. You be the mood, and I'll do the story.
Do it too.
Yeah. The song means a lot to us because growing up, we didn't exactly have a lot growing up, and not that we have a lot now either, but I was talking to somebody this morning, actually. I was like, we didn't find out we were poor until like last week, you know. So our parents were pretty awesome because even though they didn't have anything, like we didn't grow up in a household that was like, you know, we don't have anything, and we thought we were, I guess, normal and had a normal income, and mom and dad were raising. There was 2 of us at once. I don't know if you know this, but most people don't plan to have twins. And to see our father, who didn't make a lot of money, teach us how to work. He taught us how to be respectful. He taught us how to, we always attribute every bit of our entrepreneurial skills or anything that we know in business to our father, who had no career. And a lot of that was, he taught us that being rich doesn't have anything to do with having money. And your mentality of how wealthy you are comes from more than just how much is in your bank account, and more than just in this concept. We have a large family, and this concept of family, and this concept of supporting each other, and this concept of working hard no matter what you're doing. If you're making $5 an hour or if you're making $50 an hour, we were taught that it's no different. And I think that lesson, especially now and today, is like so valuable. And we got to grow up seeing our dad do that no matter what. So we wrote this song called Rich Man about it. It goes like this. He bought a house 20 years ago. He settled down and made a home for a family he didn't have yet. Now, he was overworked and underpaid, but still made it to church on Sunday, and always had $1 for the plate. Well, it's not the cars or house he'll leave behind, but what he has is priceless in his family's eyes. 'Cause I was born in a rich man's house where the bills were barely paid, and there were things we had to live without, but we thought we had it made. And though we didn't have much money, Daddy always taught me right. Said, son, in everything you gotta learn to live the life of a rich man. Now he's got a house with a mortgage and bills that he can't pay, 'cause he owes more on them now than he will ever make. But if you ask him how he's doing, he'll smile and say just fine. And you wouldn't know we didn't have a dime. Oh, 'cause I was born in a rich man's house where the bills were barely paid, and there were things we had to live without, but we thought we had it made. And though we didn't have much money, Daddy always taught me right. Said, son, in everything you gotta learn to live the life of a rich man. were barely paid. And there were things we had to live without, but we thought we had it made. And though we didn't have much money, Daddy always taught me right. Said, son, in everything you gotta learn to live the life of a rich man, yeah, of a rich man. Oh.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You certainly don't have to work on your rapport. You guys you go together.
We came that way. I mean,
Yeah. we were roommates.
Don't say
That horrible joke. Such a bad joke.
Well, you mentioned only starting country music really 6 years ago, but you've done an amazing amount since then. Can you give us sort of an idea of what you're going to be at the fair?
We are, yeah. On Tuesday, the Tuesday night of the fair on September 12th, we're going to be playing with, actually, we're huge fans of this guy. We grew up listening to his music, David Crowder, which is now Crowder. Awesome worship leader and top of the charts on the Christian charts. He's just pretty amazing. And just to be able to share the stage with him is a pretty huge honor for us. And
Yeah. We'll be actually with him the next night
Yeah,
in
we're gonna be
Mayfield, Kentucky.
playing
as
with him
well.
2 nights in a row, so we're kind of on tour with him. Yeah.
Well, how's that feel? Being somebody that you looked up to now playing with them.
Oh, that's awesome. Especially, we've had a hard time with our who we are, and that's part of
Why the record's
why
called
this
Who
record's
I
called
Am.
Who I Am. Because growing up in church and for 12 years we did nothing but worship events and youth conferences and things like that. And when we put out our first country record, we got a lot of comments that said
We got a little bit of,
well, people ask,
Why'd you
why aren't
switch-
you guys Christian anymore?
why'd you switch to country
And
music?
we kind of want to show people that, hey, who you are and the way you live your life, and we're from the country, and that's ingrained in us.
Right. I think it comes through in our music too,
Yeah.
like all of who we are, and it's important to us.
So getting to share stage and play country music with a worship artist,
Right.
like that's just kind of really speaking to what we want to do and be a part of. So.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. I think it's great. We've gotten the opportunity to do that a few times in our when we were 7 years old. We got to open for Johnny Cash, and that was a huge deal. So and in all honesty, it was bigger for my father, who at 7 we weren't like the largest Johnny Cash fans in the world, but my dad was flipping out, and we're like, it's just some guy he sang that song, and so. One of the coolest things about doing this and getting those opportunities is just to be able to see people that we are like musically or even lifestyle-wise when it comes to
Inspired.
Crowder and everything. Like, they've inspired us, and they've been a huge part of our life musically and in other ways also. And to be able to go, like,
To share a stage with them is
yeah, I guess
humbling.
kind
mean,
of
it's-
more side by side and getting to be a little bit more involved with the kind of things they're doing. And hopefully it's a good step in the right direction for us. So. Maybe means that we can keep doing this for a little while longer. So hope that people like it and continue to like it. We got another song. Do we want to do another
Any more
song?
questions right now?
Go
No?
for it.
Go for it? Okay. So I write lots of love songs, and as a joke, I asked Cody to write a love song.
Actually,
And we're gonna play
basically,
it.
we were on our way back home from Nashville, and I was severely, chronically single for a long time.
Is that a chronic thing? That's a ongoing.
It's an epidemic. It's
Okay.
sweeping
Yeah.
the nation.
Is it?
They still haven't found a cure. Wait, do they know if
They
cure
know
for-
it. They just
the
haven't
cu-
told you.
They know the cure for being single, and no one told me. Okay, so basically, I wrote this song in my moment of and my lowest point of worst depression.
And whether or not I had any co-write on this at all, I'm going to give all the credit to him. How's that sound?
I love how she reacted to in my lowest point of worst depression. Just listen. This is what it sounds like when a single guy writes a love song. With all the fish in the sea, you'd think that by now I would have caught one. But there's other fishermen like me out there trying to catch them too. Well, I tried to be patient with Daddy fishing on the shore. It's a metaphor, okay. He said, if you'll wait, son, you'll find the one you're looking for. Well, I thought that he was wrong until you came along. You caught my eye and changed my point of view. So I sit right here and wait and hope I'm not too late to do what Daddy told me I should do. With all the fish in the sea, you'd think that by now I would have caught one. But there's other fishermen like me out there trying to catch them too. They might be in a different place or using different bait or doing something I don't know to do. With all the fish in the sea, the only one I see is the one I want to be with, and that's you. Well, I had a few keepers and some that I've left hanging on the line. Some were shallow, some deeper, and I had a few that wouldn't even bite. Now all this catch and release is weighing down on me, and I don't want to fish another day. Since you came into my life, the thought of making you my wife makes me want to throw my fishing pole away. With all the fish in the sea, you'd think that by now I would have caught one. But there's other fishermen like me out there trying to catch them too. They might be in a different place or using different bait or doing something I don't know to do. With all the fish in the sea, the only one I see is the one I want to be with, and that's you. With all the fish in the sea, you'd think that by now I would have caught one. We didn't mess up, that's how it goes. There's other fishermen like me out there trying to catch them too. Well, they might be in a different place or using different bait or doing something I don't know to do. With all the fish in the sea, the only one I see is the only one for me. Yeah, it's the